Yeah, just want to pick up of where I left off on the last one. This 15-minute thing. I don't even want to keep explaining that. I just ain't got time to be shortening up the videos to put it on there. No, I'll just stop it and I'll finish it on another one. But you look at the guys that was guarding Jordan. You put those guys on Kobe. If Kobe could score 40 on Ron Artest, when Ron Artest was the shit, and Shane Battier and Tony Allen, these athletic 6'7", 6'8" defenders, and when you got Durant and LeBron and to some degree Joe Johnson and Wade and Westbrook and all of these guys that could score, I mean, of course, if I'm playing against Division 1 players, no, I'm gonna switch it around. If you playing against Division 1 players and you only averaging 20 a game, but I'm playing against Division 4 players and I'm averaging 30 a game, who they gonna say is the better player? Like, what the fuck is that dude name? He played for like a D5 school. The dude that kept scoring 100. He scored like 138 one game. And they had the nerve, some people, to say that he's the best he's the best college player they've seen in a while. He's playing against dudes that don't even really play basketball. Those dudes that he playing against, they skiers and librarians and dudes that write books and singers. Those was the players that was on that team. Them D5, they don't really play basketball. They play this shit as a hobby. That's not real basketball that this dude was dropping 100 points on. And look how many shot attempts he was taking. You better fucking score 100 points. You shooting all them damn times. But y'all want to say that he's great. Just like y'all want to say that, and I'm not saying that Michael Jordan isn't great. But it's not what you do. It's who you do it against. You can't be beating up on these garbage teams in the 90s when your team is the best team. Scottie Pippen would have been the best player on the majority of those teams in the 90s. And Scottie Pippen was the second best player on the Bulls, behind Jordan. Then on the second three-peat, y'all got Rodman. Y'all got three of the best players. Y'all had three of the best players in the league at that time on that team. So I don't even want a couple years ago. I love Magic and I like Bird, but even they was saying some dumb shit a couple years ago when them two and Michael Jordan and dumbass Charles Barkley, when LeBron, Wade, and Bosh got together. Oh, I would have never joined up with Larry and Magic. I would have never called Michael and Larry. I would have never called. Uh, First of all, Magic, your team, the Showtime Lakers, that's the greatest starting five in NBA history. Of course, you wouldn't call up Magic and Jordan. Fuck them. You don't need them with the Showtime. You got Kareem, Michael Cooper, James Worthy, Larry. Your starting five is one of the top 4 greatest starting five. You got Mikel and Parrish. Now you might need Magic to be the point guard, but you don't need him either. And Jordan, even on your first three-peat, you had Pippen and you had Horace Grant and a couple other good players. Now, they're not Magic and Larry, but they were good enough, especially for the 90s. The second three-peat, you had Rodman and you had Pippen. What the fuck? So for y'all to even say you wouldn't have called up this person, first of all, stupid. Because if I'm Michael Jordan and I'm saying I would have never called up Magic and Larry, are you implying that Chris Bosh is Magic or Larry? Now, Chris Bosh is good. I'll give you the Dwayne Wade things. Dwayne Wade can be that. But are you implying that Chris Bosh is Magic or Larry? That's just these old ass players hating on the new players. Like, shut the fuck up. Watered down 90s. You add all them expansion teams, bringing all these garbage players, and you put them against Michael Jordan, and you think Michael Jordan wasn't going to put up 90 a game? The dude averaged 40 shot attempts a game in that Suns finals, being guarded by Dan Marley and Kevin Johnson. The tallest player on that Suns team that he beat in the finals for his third ring was Tom Chambers. Tom Chambers was 6'10". He was the tallest player on the team. And oh, by the way, he's one of the most softest defenders in NBA history. So this era, the 90s is the worst era of NBA basketball ever. It is. No talent. They just let the Bulls dominate. I mean, even look at that Rockets team that won 2 finals. Now Hakeem Olajuwon is great. I think he had Clyde Drexler on one of those teams, but Clyde Drexler was a little old. And he had Kenny Smith and Robert Horry. So that was really Hakeem and a bunch of role players. Hakeem is great, and Hakeem is a champion. We're not taking that away from him. But do you think that team could have competed in the 80s? Do you think that team could have competed in the early 2000s? Which to me is my favorite era of basketball. Because I didn't get to see the 80s. But I saw the 90s and I saw the early 2000s. Where all these athletic dudes just came out of nowhere. Dudes throwing basketballs off the backboard and doing bounce dunks in between the legs and doing all of this stuff. I don't know. But I do know that fucking 90s basketball was weak. That's the era Jordan won his titles in. And then in the fucking, what pissed me off about the Jordan era, it was this, they kept adding new shit. Even in 94, they moved the fucking 3-point line up. They moved this shit up by like 5 feet. So Michael Jordan, he's shooting threes, but they're really twos. Hence, I think it was 95. One of those fucking years, he shot his best field goal percentage from 3. He had a career high in 3-point field percentage that year. The year that they moved a fucking 3-point line up. And then in 94, the year where the nigga came out of retirement, they added hand checking. And y'all want to say that Kobe played in the hand check era, LeBron played in the hand check era? Yes. But whose era did the fucking hand checking come in? It came in the fucking Jordan era. But they don't want to tell y'all that. They want to sweep this shit under the rug. Because I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm not going along with this fucking Michael Jordan shit. When I get into arguments and debates with people, I tell them Michael Jordan is not the greatest of all time. Michael Jordan is the most overrated player of all time. How much time I got on this video? Yeah, I got some time. Even going back, he didn't get cut from college. He didn't get cut off his high school team. He just didn't make varsity in the 9th grade, which typically happens. Guys that's freshmen don't make varsity often. That's what happened to him. That just was a move to sell shoes to make you feel sorry for him. What happened when he get to college? The year before he got to North Carolina, they went to the fucking the NCAA championship game. They lost by a few points, but they went. The year Jordan got there, he hit the shot that won them the game, even though Worthy secured the steal to end the game. So that's 2 years they went to championship games. One before Jordan, one with him. Worthy left. when they won the championship. He left after they won the championship, and it was just Michael Jordan's team because Michael won it as a freshman. Worthy's last year. What happened when Jordan had to lead the team by himself? And they was high seeds. They was a number 1 seed one year and a number 2 seed another year. They lost in the fucking Elite 8 one year and the Sweet 16 the other year. They didn't make no Final Fours with just Jordan. They damn sure didn't make no fucking NCAA championship games. And then what happened when Jordan goes to the NBA that season? The fucking North Carolina make it to the Final Four without Michael Jordan. He gets to the Bulls, first 3 years, losing season. By year 2, by year 3, he couldn't even get them to a winning season. Then they started adding Pippen. They started adding Horace Grant. They add Phil. They add more players. They get better. Then the Bulls start winning championships. He retires. Bulls drop 2 games. He comes back. The Bulls lose in the first round of the playoffs. And in the year when they didn't have Jordan, they got to the Eastern Conference Finals, or they got to the second round. I can't remember. They lost to the Knicks because Hugh Hollins, the referee, decided to call a dumbass foul on Scottie Pippen that wasn't a foul. The Bulls got robbed because how would it have looked if the Bulls would have won a championship without Michael Jordan? David Stern wouldn't have been making money like that. So David Stern fucked that shit up. Michael comes back. They lose in the first round in 6 games. How the fuck did he come back and they did worse in the playoffs? They lost earlier in the playoffs with him, and they lost in less games with him than they did without him. Then the next year, they add Rodman, 2 more expansion teams come in the league. All of these other teams lose players because of these teams coming. The Bulls gain players. Won 3 championships, split the team up. And then don't even get me started on that Washington Wizards shit. He should have just stayed retired with the Bulls. Even though he played okay. He played pretty good as a Washington Wizard. But I would have just rather not see him at all. So, yes. Y'all want to say that he made Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen has a better winning percentage and a better playoff winning percentage than Michael Jordan. When you compare Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan apart, neither one has rings without the other. But Pippen has more playoff wins, more regular season wins apart from Jordan than Michael Jordan does have from Pippen. Michael Jordan has 5 losing seasons without Scottie Pippen. Michael Jordan has a 1-9 playoff record. 1 playoff win, 9 playoff losses without Scottie Pippen. Michael Jordan's record without Scottie Pippen regular season wise is 182 and 228. 182 and 228 without Scottie Pippen. And this is the fucking GOAT. Come on. Even LeBron took his teams to the finals without Wade. Even Kobe won 2 rings without Shaq and played in another finals without Shaq. But, yeah. Worst era of basketball was the 90s. That era I grew up watching. So don't say I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. When I'm watching all of these games and I'm younger at this time, thinking to myself, this is why Michael Jordan looks better than everybody, because it's really just him and a few other great players. Everybody else fucking sucked. 90%, no, I'm being too nice. 93% of the NBA in the 90s sucked. It was only 7% of great players. 93% fucking sucked. And that's just a fact.